Okay guys, so basically what I'm going to show you in this tutorial is how to use Trapcode form to make 3D text. It is fully functional 3D text. You can rotate around it, you can fly through it, you can do whatever you want to it. Plus it's particle based because it's Trapcode form, which means you have millions of particles that you could explode or transform into other things or whatever. So basically this is just a little video here of what it's very basic, but what you'll be able to do after you're done watching this tutorial. So like I said, it's a basic animation. I just did it really quick so that I could have some kind of, I don't know, something to entice you to stay around and watch me mess with After Effects. So the first thing you're going to do is hit Control or Command N so that you make a new composition. You can also go to Composition, New Composition, and it'll do the exact same thing. So for this composition, we're going to make this our text composition, and we're going to change the width to 700 and the height to 200. Really, you can make this whatever you want, as long as you can make some string of text fit inside of it fairly well. So basically what this is you're going to type your text in here, whatever you want. I'm going to type Mobile Media, and then I'm going to scale it up. And what you're going to want to do is scale this up as close as you can to the edges without going outside of them, of course. And that's good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that'll work. If you want to know what text I'm using, it's called Evil of Frankenstein. I think it looks cool, pretty interesting, so I figured I'd use it for the tutorial. Anyway, the next thing we're going to do is hit Control or Command N again to make another composition. This is going to be your form composition, and we don't want this to be 700 by 200. We want it to be something more like 1920 by 1080. It can be whatever you want, but hopefully it's like a television standard or something, or else I don't know what you're producing it for. Then hit OK, and take your text composition and put it into your form composition. This is basically going to be what we use to project onto the Trapcode form object we're going to be creating. So let's go on ahead and create that. What you want to do at this point is hit Control or Command Y, or you can go to Layer, New, Solid. And what this is going to be is the solid layer that you are going to put Trapcode form onto. So go over here to your Effects and Presets panel, type in Form, take Trapcode form here, and drop it onto there. By the way, if you didn't know, Trapcode form is a third-party plugin. It does not come by default into After Effects. If you need to get it, or if you don't have it, that's why. You'll have to get it from the third party's website, Trapcode's website. Check it out, it's pretty awesome. I would suggest it for sure, no matter what. I guess if you're just making, news titles, then don't worry about it. But otherwise, if you just want to, make some cool things in After Effects, I'd suggest making or purchasing Trapcode form, because it's a lot of fun. So what we're going to do here in form, the first thing we're going to do is go to Layer Maps, drop it down, go to Color and Alpha, drop that down, and change the layer here to layer number 2, text. This right here. That's basically what you just did. And then this functionality here, you're going to choose this depending on how you choose to color your text here. If you want to just color the text using normal methods by using the color picker and coloring it that way, or using the 4-color gradient and coloring it that way, then what you're going to want to do is use RGBA to RGBA. But this is a Trapcode form tutorial, and I'm going to show you some things in Trapcode form, and so I'm going to color it using the Trapcode form effect, and in this case you want to use alpha to alpha. So we've got that set up, and the last thing we want to do is map this over the X and Y axis. And now if you turn off this text layer, you can see for some reason on mine it's doing extermination. I assume this is because it's cached the basically previous previews, on-screen previews here, of extermination from when I made that extermination demonstration for you to look at. In just a second, when I change things, it's going to change back to mobile media, but it wants to be difficult. I don't know if this is just a glitch with Trapcode form or what, but we're going to move on. So basically, the next thing we're going to do is go to base form here. Under your form effect, you go to base form, and you're going to want to change this from box grid to box strings. As you can see, it kind of brightens it up a little bit, and well, it just kind of it changes the way it's projected, and in my opinion, it looks better than box grid does. So the next thing you want to do is change the size in X and Y. You will change this based on your, see it says mobile media again. You will change the size in X and Y based upon your resolution and how you want it to be projected. Basically, it's your call what you want it to be, but for me, I'm going to do 1700 by 500. Now it's back to extermination. It's just giving me so much difficulty today. So if you can see here, there's a lot of space in between these strings that are projected for the Trapcode form object. What you want to do to get rid of those strings, or to make them less stringy, I guess, is to change these strings in Y. I think I'm going to do maybe 120, and also the strings in Z to probably I don't know, I'll do 90 for now. And once you do this, you're going to have a lot of particles. So this loading bar is going to basically just take its time. On your computer, this might actually significantly hinder it and slow it down a lot. So if that happens, what you can do is click on this full button here. Basically, this means you're viewing this preview window at full resolution. You can change it to half, third, or quarter, which is half resolution, third, or quarter resolution, and that'll make it so that you can do this a little quicker. It'll make it look worse, obviously, because you're viewing it at lower resolution, but it'll make it so that you can get this done quicker. So the next thing you want to do is drop down this particle drop down menu here and change particle type from sphere to glow sphere. That's going to get rid of some of these lines without actually having to pull your particle count up and slow down your computer even more, which is no fun. We're already going to have to sit through some loading bars. I don't want to make you sit through even longer ones. Alright, so as you can see now, most of the strings are gone. There's still some on the edges, obviously. There are ways to get rid of that completely by upping your string count more, and I found, I don't know, you can up this pretty high. It takes a toll on your computer, but it's possible, and then you'll have none of this kind of like stringy edge line here. But anyway, I'm not going to do that because this tutorial would take forever for me to demonstrate. So what I'm going to do now is basically just show you how you would color this in Trapcode form. What you need to do is click on Quick Maps here under the form effect and drop down this color map here, and you need to click on actually you can click on whatever you want to, but I'm going to click on this kind of white to blue gradient, and you can color this over the X, Y, or Z axis, or you can do radial. I'm going to do the Z axis because I like the way that looks. Really, they're all pretty interesting, but that's just my preference in this case. Radial's pretty cool too. Oh, loading bar. Alright, so we've got that. I wanted this actually the other way. If you want your gradient to kind of basically flip itself, all you have to do is actually just click this flip button, and then it'll flip it. Flip your gradient the other way, which is nice. Also, if you want to change the gradient colors, you know, you don't like any of these presets here because you're particular, then you just you double click here on these little, I don't know, squares, and you can change it to whatever you want by just picking it here on the color gradient. But I'm going to leave it how it is, and this looks okay to me. I've now got my 3D text. Just for demonstration purposes, you can actually make a camera here, hit OK, and orbit around your 3D text using the camera. Maybe someday when it's done loading. Okay, I have no idea where this is going to end up because my computer's just being a lot of fun right now. But you'll be able to rotate around your text and fly through it and do whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so as you can see, this is it's all 3D. The more strings you put in here, the less of this kind of like a layered look you have. But it also takes longer to preview on your screen, and like I told you, I don't want to deal with it for this tutorial, but you can do it, and you can make it just solid block letters that look nice. So I'm going to reset the camera, and we're going to go and I'm going to go ahead and put a gradient background in here just so we have something to look at the form on. Okie dokie. And eventually we'll get to where we need to be. I'm pressing too many buttons right now and it doesn't like that. Okay, now we'll load. Then the gradient will show up and everything will be great again. By the way, the gradient I'm using is actually a Red Giant third-party plugin. I'm sorry, I've got a lot of plugins. You can also use the 4-color gradient, it'll work. Or you can get the Red Giant gradient plugin and it'll work too. But I understand if you don't want to do that. So now we've got a gradient, we've got Mobile Media, and it looks pretty cool. But the next thing I want to demonstrate to you is basically what you can do with the particles here. In another tutorial in the future, I'm going to show you how to use the Audio React to basically make the particles bounce to the beat of music. But for right now, I'll just show you kind of the basics of what you can do with your particles in your text here. So you can also use spherical field for this. Basically what spherical field does is make a big sphere that blows your particle, like nothing can enter in the sphere particle wise. It's cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it, but it's a little too complicated for me to run through right now. So I'm just going to focus on the basic ones: disperse, twist, and these are under the disperse and twist drop-down menu, and also displacement from fractal field. Basically what these do is twist, literally twist it, like if you were twisting a towel or something to, you know, for whatever reason, to wring it out. Disperse is the particles just basically go everywhere, and displace it's really kind of hard to describe, so I'm just going to show you what it does. It's pretty cool. What you need to do at this point, or what I do at this point, is you click on your form layer and you press the U button. If you didn't know, the U button basically just shows you every single keyframe that you've made on anything for your layer, so it's useful. And right here at 1 second, I'm just going to pull up the displacement to maybe like, I don't know, 200. And it'll take a minute to load. So much loading. Just need a server bank. Make everything better. Alright, so that's basically what displacement does. It kind of just really distorts the particles and puts them, I don't know, pretty much wherever it wants to put them. You can also determine a little bit what the displacement does by changing the flow of the X, Y, and Z axis over here. Like if I up this to 194, you'll see what it does once the yellow bar figures its way to the end here. Someday, someday, someday. Almost there. Okay. So as you can see, that altered it. And it altered it on the flow of the x-axis, right? So you changed it on the x-axis. Okay. So we'll leave it there. Actually, no, we won't, because I'm not going to do that. The twist, I'll put it on like 120 or something. And that's going to twist it like I said before. And the disbursement, I don't know, I'll do like 300. The disbursement basically just takes the particles and literally disperses them wherever on the screen from its center point here, or its anchor point, whatever you want to call it. Right now you can just take a drink of soda, or, you know, eat some chips. You got a couple seconds. Alright, so that's what happens. Basically, the disbursement made it so all these little particles happened and broke off from their, you know, basically point of origin. And the twisting, it kind of makes these, you can see how it's kind of circular here. That's because you've put on the twist, and it makes this kind of circular image. If you don't have the twist, the particles are just going to fly everywhere, and there's really not going to be any rhyme or reason to them. Not to say that's wrong or anything, but I'm just letting you know in advance. Okay, so now you've got that animation, and basically what I'm going to do is just copy and paste those keyframes. If you don't know how to do that, you just highlight them by dragging your mouse around them and hit Control-C and then hit Control-V. Hit Control-C to copy them, and then when you want to paste them, you hit Control-V. And there you go. So, basically at this point you have the animation I showed you in the beginning. Actually, it's a little more dramatic than the animation I showed you in the beginning. I didn't have the parameters set quite as high. But that's it. Now you know the basics of how to make 3D text in After Effects using Trapcode form, and as you can see, you can use Trapcode form to do quite a few different things. In a couple days or so, I'm going to put up a tutorial on how to use Audio React with Trapcode form, so that you can I don't know, blow up your screen or something into thousands, you know, blow up the particles towards your screen, maybe make like a bass speaker or something boom towards you at the, you know, at the correct beat of the song. But we'll see what I end up doing. Anyway, I hope this tutorial was valuable to someone, interesting to someone. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.